Is your sourdough starter all of a sudden behaving differently? You follow the same recipe you have been following all winter long, and all of a sudden your bread turns out to be this sticky, unmanageable mass of something. And your starter used to take 8 hours, and all of a sudden it's at its peak after only 3 hours. Hey, I've been baking with sourdough over 40 years with my German family's generations old sourdough method. And in this video, I'm going to share some tips with you about how to use your sourdough in the summer and what's going on, what you can do so that you can still enjoy your sourdough bread during the summer. So what took 8 hours during the winter is now only taking 4 to 5 hours, and that's not failure. That's not you doing something wrong. That is simply physics. What's going on is that these little beneficial bacteria, microbes, are reacting to the environment. All of a sudden in the winter, your kitchen is 10-15 degrees warmer than it was in the winter, and that is just what's going on. So nothing you do, simply what's going on in your environment. Let's see, problem number one I see is that your starter is peaking too fast. How do you know? Well, it's doubling after 3 to 4 hours versus the 6, 7, 8, or 10 hours it used to take before. Here's what you can do, how to fix it. You can feed your sourdough starter later to bring it a little bit closer to when you want to bake. You can also try to find a cooler spot in your home. Sometimes I recommend, and this may sound funny, the floor of a tiled bathroom, because typically the heat rises and so the bottom is going to be colder than if you have something up above. You can find another cool closet where the temperatures stay pretty consistent and cool even during the heat of the summer, or just simply find a cooler spot in your home. Something else you can do is just like use a little bit less sourdough starter to actually make the microbes that you have, make the starter that you have work harder, and so you only need a little bit less. Problem number two, bulk ferment is flying by way too fast. Let's say your dough is ready in 3 hours, but your recipe said 6, so you counted on that, and now your dough is overproofed. How do you know it is overproofed? Well, it is super jiggly. It doesn't really want to hold up its shape while you're trying to shape it into a dough, and it tears really easily. How do you fix it? The first thing is watch your dough. Do not read the recipe. This is something that I have been saying for a long time because my method doesn't include any detailed instructions, because I'm basically teaching a method where you watch what you're doing instead of just simply following a recipe. And basically you just watch your dough. So sometimes it can mean that you want to bake on a weekend when you are around, because let's say you have a schedule where you work outside the home and then you know you're coming back at a certain time and your dough is at a certain point, and now all of a sudden that doesn't work anymore because your dough is overproofed. You can move the bulk ferment to a time when you actually are at home and when you can watch your dough, read your dough, and then bake it sooner, which is actually not a bad thing to do. Essentially, you want to look for a 50 to 70% or so rise when there is a nice dome. You can press a little bit in with your fingers. There's a little dent, but the dent comes back when you press your finger in and the dent doesn't spring back, then you know you have overproofed it. If you press your finger in and there's no dent and it's harder to press it, then it means it's not quite ready. So you can always use the finger test. Another trick that I recommend is you can also use cooler water. We often recommend using warm water once you mix everything up, and especially getting your starter going. But if you actually use cool water, I'm not talking about ice cold water, but cool water, then you can actually extend that time a little bit and give your starter a little bit more time to get to the point where you want it. Problem number three, the shaping and proofing window shrinks. You used to have 30 minutes to shape, and now after 50 minutes, it's already ready to go. Well, the fix, simply work a little faster. Again, looking at your dough versus sticking to the recipe. If your recipe is not working because it is too warm in your kitchen and your sourdough starter is overly eager, I often get that in the summer, and it always catches me a little bit by surprise. But it's nice to have a bit of an overachiever. You just need to work a little faster because your sourdough starter is actually ready to do the thing that you want it to do. You can also put the shape loaf in the refrigerator right away rather than letting it rise a little bit on the counter, depending on what your recipe says. And that's called a cold retard, and let it sit and ferment a little bit longer in your refrigerator to maximize the time and to stretch out the time a little bit. And if you want the full fermentation, the proper fermentation, the 8 hours, then that is essentially the cool off spot that you want. So what's the big mindset shift here? Simply watch your dough. Stop following your recipe. I have the same problem. When I write a recipe, I'm assuming certain conditions, temperatures, humidity, starter activity, starter pH, all of these things that we don't even need to measure, because even if we measure, it still has the same outcome. We may have to shift what we do. And so basically, I recommend start baking on weekends when you have a little bit more time, when you can actually sit there and see what's going on with your dough, instead of relying on, oh, it's going to take me 6 hours, or it's going to take 8 hours, or it's going to take 4 hours. And you'll be surprised because your bread or your dough or whatever have you in the recipe is already way ahead of you, and it's already surpassed the peak and it's already deflated. Basically, use your senses. Look at your starter, your dough. Does it look really puffy? Does it look really soft? Does it look jiggly? And once you start doing that, maybe a little bit of a learning curve, you will get that experience, at which point you automatically, intuitively know where you are in the recipe. And this is something that I can tell you after 40 plus years, depending on where you start counting, because I grew up when I was little. I don't remember my mom ever starting sourdough, because as soon as I started forming a memory, we were baking sourdough breads in our home, and my mom learned it from my grandmother. So it's been in my family forever, and I don't remember ever officially learning it. So that also means that I was there to watch it all the time. And here's another tip. If your dough is way overproofed and you've missed that point, you've missed that window, and it's starting to deflate a little bit, really simple. I mean, we all love that little round bowl-shaped sourdough bread. I actually find breads in loaf pans a little bit more practical, because every slice is the same size. And in Germany, most breads are rectangular, baked in a loaf pan, rather than the free form loaf, the round loaves. If your dough is overproofed and your plan was to make a round bowl to shape it, and it's just not holding its shape, or it's just turning into a pancake, simply get a loaf pan and put the whole thing in a loaf pan. The worst thing that might happen is that it actually rises, but then a sign of overproofing is that after you're done baking, you take it out and it actually dips a little bit in the middle. But you still have a good bread, it's still edible, it's still going to taste great, and it's usable, and you don't have to throw out your dough, which is the last thing you want to do, waste something that's perfectly good. So the good news is summer baking can actually be really fun, because your sourdough starter will be ready faster, and everything is going to happen a little bit quicker once you get the hang of it. So here are my quick summer baking tips. Number 1, use cold or room temperature water when you're mixing up your dough. Number 2, reduce your starter slightly, maybe 12-15% less than what it says in the recipe. Number 3, shorten bulk by watching your dough, not reading the recipe, possibly shortening the bulk fermentation. Number 4, cold retard in the fridge. Your fridge is your best friend in the summer. Number 5, bake first thing in the morning when the air is still cool and your house hasn't warmed up that much. And number 6, keep your starter in the coolest spot in your home, not the warmest spot, which can potentially be your kitchen. And even though I don't keep my sourdough starter on the counter, I actually put it in the fridge. That is something that you can easily do in between bakings. You can just take it like that if you have taken out however much you need it from your sourdough starter, and then you have a little bit left in your jar. You can just simply put that right in your refrigerator as it is. You don't need to do anything else with it. And if you are actually not going to be baking with your sourdough starter for weeks or even months, then I recommend you watch this video right here, in which I'm teaching you my German family's heritage method, in which you can keep it in your refrigerator going, and it's super simple. You won't even believe it. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper with my method and learn more about it, then I have my online super simple sourdough course that you can take, in which I explain my entire method lesson by lesson, and you can learn more and engage more with me. The link is right here and also in the description box below. Now, let me know, what is your biggest challenge in your summer sourdough baking? Leave me a comment or a question below. Even if I don't always get to answer all of them, I do read them, and sometimes I make follow-up videos so that I can answer all your questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.